Welcome back to Outside Views. Today we're taking a close look at a country that's become a surprising favorite among Brits post-Brexit, and that's Croatia. Whether you're dreaming of an Adriatic retirement, a remote working life under the sun, or just a long escape from British bureaucracy, Croatia has become an increasingly popular destination. But as with all things Brexit, the rules have changed. And you know that I'm not British and I'm just telling you everything from the outside view. But I believe Brexit was a terrible mistake. And this topic today, how Brits can still live, work and travel in Croatia, is just one more area where that mistake has made life harder, more complicated and more bureaucratic. But let's start with the basics. As a British tourist, you can still visit Croatia without a visa. That's the good news. You get 90 days in any 180-day period as a third country national under the Schengen area rules. Yeah, that's right. Croatia joined Schengen in 2023, which means border-free travel between it and other Schengen countries. But the key here is that phrase, third country national. Before Brexit, Brits were EU citizens. You had freedom of movement. And now you're in the same category as Americans, Australians or Canadians. It's not impossible to move or work in Croatia, but it's no longer automatic. But let's break that down. If you want to live in Croatia longer than 90 days, you need a residence permit. And there are multiple ways to qualify for one. First up, there are digital nomads. If you work remotely for a company outside of Croatia, you can apply for a digital nomad permit. It's a relatively new program and many Brits have used it to live in Croatia without navigating the traditional work visa bureaucracy. You would need proof of income, private health insurance and a background check, but for many this is kind of the easiest route. And second, there are student permits. If you're studying in Croatia, either at a university or a recognized language school, you can get a residence permit. Yes, even studying Croatian counts. And third, the work permits. If you get a job offer from a Croatian employer, they can apply for a work and residence permit on your behalf. And this includes both regular and seasonal jobs. But here's the twist. There are quotas and conditions, and they change. And fourth, the EU Blue Card. If you are highly qualified with a university degree and a job offer in a high demand field, you may be eligible for the EU Blue Card. It allows mobility and long-term residence rights. But again, it's not automatic. And fifth, entrepreneurship. You can start your own Croatian company, employ yourself and apply for residence that way. But be warned, Croatian bureaucracy is legendary. Unless you really want to run a business, this route may create more headaches than it's worth. And there are other paths too. You can apply for residency by prepaying rent for a year. And you can live in Croatia if you are volunteering for a recognized organization. And you can live there if you are doing scientific research. You can get residency if you're married to a Croatian or another EU national. You can even apply based on humanitarian reasons if you are of Croatian descent. If you've got Croatian ancestry, a parent, grandparent, even great-grandparent, you may be eligible for citizenship by descent. Croatia is actively encouraging members of the diaspora to come home. And that could mean full EU citizenship again, despite Brexit. But now let's talk about requirements. No matter which path you choose, there are common documents that you will need. That's a completed application form, a valid passport, a background check, a proof of accommodation, a proof of health insurance, a proof of sufficient funds, a passport photo in the correct size. The application fees are also in there. And it all has to be submitted at the nearest MUP office, that's Croatia's Ministry of Internal Affairs. But let's talk about health insurance. You can't rely on the NHS anymore. You will need private health insurance to get your residence permit. And once approved, you'll have to register with the Croatian state health system, the HZZO, and pay retroactive premiums. And that means 12 months payback plus the monthly fee going forward. No back pay, no payback. It's required for every member of your family. And then there's driving. You need to exchange your UK driver's license for a Croatian one. And it's best to do this sooner rather than later, because if you wait too long, you might have to take a driving test from scratch. And what about buying property? Yes, you can. British citizens can buy residential property in Croatia as long as the UK is on the reciprocity list, and it is. But it has to be residential, not agricultural. And if you buy property, that alone does not entitle you to residence. You still need to apply for a permit like everyone else. And finally, we have to talk about taxes. If you live more than 183 days a year in Croatia, you're a tax resident. And you will be taxed on your worldwide income. But there is a double taxation treaty between the UK and Croatia, so you will not be taxed twice on the same income. And that said, tax law is complex. If you are moving long term, really get professional advice. But let's review quickly. Yes, Brits can still live in Croatia. But no, it's not as easy as it used to be. Before Brexit, you had freedom of movement. Now you have bureaucracy. Now you have paperwork. Now you have conditions. And it's not just Croatia, as you know. This applies across the EU, only the reals differ because of the national sovereignties. This is the reality of Brexit, and that is what taking back control actually looks like. Losing access, losing rights, and adding barriers to lives that were once simple. But Croatia is still open to Brits. It's just a question of how much effort you're willing to put in. And that effort isn't small. From gathering the right documents to navigating local bureaucracy to registering for healthcare, exchanging your license and planning your taxes, living in Croatia post-Brexit is indeed a commitment. But for many, it's still worth it. The beauty, the pace of life, the lower cost of living, the access to the Adriatic and the Schengen zone, all of that continues to draw Brits to Croatia. But this time, you need a plan. You need a visa, and you need to understand the rules. The days of just showing up and staying indefinitely are over. So do your research, look into your options, and read both the Croatian government's Brexit guide and the UK's. And talk to consulates. Use reputable immigration experts if needed. And if you are eligible for citizenship by descent, don't wait. Reclaiming EU citizenship might just be the best post-Brexit move you can make. And that's it for today's episode. And if you ever have considered moving to Croatia, I would be interested to hear that in the comments below the video. And did you visit before or after Brexit, and have the rules affected your plans? Please let me know. And if you appreciate detailed breakdowns like this one, subscribe to Outside Views, of course, because we explore post-Brexit Europe, Britain, and the policies that connect or divide us. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, and the next video is right here in the end screen.